Hello, everyone. This is Culture Shock with Henry Garrett, and I'm your host. I want to welcome you to my podcast. This podcast series is a part of my graduate capstone project. During this series, we'll get a chance to discuss what organizational culture is and some different viewpoints of organizational culture. We'll be speaking with three different individuals that are professionals in their own right in their workplace. We'll speak to manager Laterica Williams. We'll speak to HR representative Daniel Irving and non-management employee Curtis Bradley. We'll get a chance to go over with them how they view and define organizational culture and if there are any differences that they've seen in organizations as far as the cultures or any things that tip their view of organizational culture. While the term organizational culture is one that is being used in the forefront of company branding strategies in recent years, the theory itself dates back more than 50 years. Its origin comes from both sociology and anthropology. Organizational culture is defined as the values and behaviors that contribute to the unique social and psychological environment of an organization. As I stated, during this series, we'll talk about what organizational culture is, and we'll have interviews with those three people that I mentioned to you, and just kind of see what their views are of culture from their particular career place. We thank you definitely for tuning in, and please come back on this journey with us and experience some culture shock. Hello, this is Henry Garrett, and you're tuned in to Culture Shock with Henry Garrett. Today, we have in with us HR manager Laterica Williams, and we'll get a chance to discuss with her take on organizational culture and kind of how that plays in her role and how she sees it. So first, I want to thank you for being with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And of course, you know that we're talking about organizational culture. So tell me, how do you define organizational culture?
Organizational culture is um, the work, the environment, attitudes, um, the it's just the heart and soul of the organization, and so a lot of different components that goes into the organizational culture. The work, the excuse me, the managing styles, the people and how they perceive the organization, the managers and how they discipline or how they um, embrace the people that come in, their introduction. So it's just a lot of different things to me.
Okay, definitely, I can definitely agree with that. It's a lot of different things. Um, as a manager yourself, what do you think is the role managers have in creating and maintaining the culture of an organization?
So I think as managers, they kind of set the tone to what the culture is of an organization, depending on.
Welcome back to Culture Shock. Today we have guest Daniel Irvin, who is an HR specialist. We're going to talk a little bit about organizational culture and just kind of get her thought process on that. So, how are you today, Daniel?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm well. We'll jump right in. So, my first question to you is, how do you define organizational culture?
Hmm. So, culture to me is the norms that are associated with the organization. For example, I believe that flexibility could be a part of an organization's culture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Heavy collaboration. So, if it's an organization where different groups are always partnering together to solve problems, I believe that could be a of the culture. So really, the things that come to your mind immediately when you think about a specific organization and things that people do almost naturally.
Hello, welcome back to Culture Shock. Today we're going to talk with contract specialist Curtis Bradley about some organizational culture, get his opinion, his thoughts, his viewpoint of organizational culture. Thank you for joining us today, Curtis. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We'll jump right in. How do you define organizational culture?
Well, I think it's many different things. I think it has to do with diversity. It has to do with inclusion. So I would say organizational culture is really just, in my working knowledge, is just a sum of the people that inhabit, that office environment. So that's how I would work.
So to you, it's more the people. The culture is the people.
Yeah, I would say the culture is the people, the management style,
Okay.
all of that.
Okay. Right. How important is the advertised culture to you when applying for a position within an organization?
I think it's really important because, especially nowadays, like working for a company, having a job is more than just going to work and getting a paycheck. It's about how how the organization is going to help you grow as a person. Because granted, I mean, you're spending more time with your coworkers than you may with your family.
Right.
So it's definitely has to be an environment that's welcoming, an environment that I feel that pushes personal and professional development.